Namaste, DDs. My name is Sherry Sutton, and I am your marketing mentor. So here's a question that I get all the time, which is, do I need a business growth guide? Do I need a business mentor, or should I just hire an agency, right? And just outsource it and get them to do all the things. What I find a lot of times is early stage entrepreneurs will think, okay, I need to do the following things, right? I need social media ads, or I need a print ad in the local magazine, or whatever it might be. And they go spend a bunch of money on it, and it isn't really very effective, often because it doesn't align with their business strategy. So I wanted to spend a few minutes with you today talking about how do you make that decision about whether or not to hire an agency or to get a business growth guide, right? From a very kind of high level perspective. So, all right. Oh, one thing you might notice, I'm in a new place. I've been keeping a surprise from you guys, but I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you more later. Okay. Oops. Okay, there we go. All right. So do you need a business growth guide or an agency? What I have found, and I just mentioned this, was I have a lot of clients come to me and say, I've spent a ton of money on hiring agencies. I've heard tens of thousands of dollars and didn't get a single client. And so I really want to prevent that from happening for you. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about when an agency is appropriate and when you need a marketing mentor or a business consultant, whatever you want to call somebody like me. Okay, so the pros of an agency are they take all the stuff off of your plate. It's awesome. You can say, great, I'm going to write you a big check every month. You're going to go get me my new clients. Awesome. As long as it works, right? The cons of an agency are the cost, right? Especially for early stage entrepreneurs, it can be very expensive to hire an agency, right? Even social media agencies, they're at a minimum, the really good ones are going to be, $3,000 and up, right? I have a client right now who actually just went through this decision-making process and decided to hire me. She was getting quotes of $10,000 a month to run all of her marketing. So it can be cost prohibitive for people who are early stage. And the other thing you really want to consider is sometimes that cost is well worth it, right? We do have to invest in our businesses to grow our businesses. So I'm not saying that sometimes it doesn't make sense, but just make sure that you can get a return on that investment. If you're spending, let's say, $5 to get a new customer from your social media ads, but you only make $1, that math doesn't work, right? But let's say you spend $1 to get a brand new client, right? Not just eyeballs, but you have to get clients from it because eyeballs are great, but they don't matter if they don't buy. So you want to make sure that if you are spending that dollar on those ads, that you're going to get back a return of $5 for that. And that's one of the things that's super important to think about, especially again, early stage. Where can I spend my time and my money in a way that's most efficient to get the biggest growth for my company? And sometimes it is hiring an agency, but you really want to understand the math of exactly where those clients are coming from, exactly what what's called a customer acquisition cost is going to be. So the other con of an agency, and I find, and again, I'm a business person, I totally get it, but often I find that entrepreneurs, early stage companies are going to agencies and saying, what do you think I should do? And they're not incented to give you the most optimal way to grow your business with the least possible cost and the least amount of effort. Their goal is to sell you on buying their products, right? I get it. Like we're business people. We totally get it. But what happens sometimes is I see entrepreneurs, they'll reach out to somebody who runs a social media agency. And of course, they're going to tell you social media is right for you. Or banner ads are right for you or whatever it might be. So you want to make sure that you're speaking to someone about your marketing who is not incented to sell you one way or the other. And that's why a business consultant really works. Now, if you already know exactly what you need to do, then you don't have to worry about this, right? They're not going to try to sell you on something you don't need, but it is something to think about when you're walking in the door, right? You don't walk into a shoe store and expect them not to sell you shoes, right? Okay, so here's where a mentor comes in. So a mentor comes in with really helping you to define what is that strategy before you hire the agencies, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to go down the route of outsourcing some of the things that you need to get done to grow your business. Frequently, certainly up to a couple $100,000 often of revenue, it makes a lot of sense for you to be doing a lot of that stuff in-house, right? Doing things more organically, right? And what a mentor will do is they'll work with you and say, okay, what are the things that you can do with the least possible investment, the least possible amount of time that are going to get you the biggest reward? And you really want to find somebody who's like been there, done that executive, right? Has worked in marketing, for their entire career. I say at least 10 years. I'm pushing 30, right? That they have an MBA, they have degrees that really help them to understand, here's the different levers that you can pull. It's also nice to have somebody who's worked in a lot of different types of businesses, right? So they understand, if they've only sold chocolate, let's say, right? Apparently I have chocolate on the brain today. If they only sell chocolate, they might not know how to sell your shoes, right? And some of the marketing fundamentals are the same, but it's nice to know you've worked with somebody who has been there, done that, and knows what works and what doesn't. The other pro of hiring a mentor business growth guide is I promise you, save time and money on marketing that doesn't work. Again, I have so many people who hire me and they kind of go backwards, right? They hire the agency first, they spend a ton of money, they get no clients, and then they come to me and say, now what do I do? And so we can create things for them, plans for them that are going to work, but frequently the things that they hired an agency for weren't really things that made sense in the first place, right? So I'm going to give you an example, and this is one of my favorite examples that I give when it comes to what types of marketing changes depending on the business that you're in and your specific clients. So I'll give you an example. And I've used this example a lot, so I apologize if you're hearing it again, but I think it's a good one. So let's say you go to the dentist and the dentist says you need a root canal. Okay. And then what do you say, right? What do you say to the dentist? Do you leave, without having a name? Maybe, right? Do you Google it? Probably. Do you go to social media and search hashtag, oral surgeons in Dallas? Probably not. Are you going to put something on a Facebook group saying like, hey, anybody have oral surgeons? Maybe. Are you going to look for social media ads for that? Right? It's going to be real hard to find, to target an ad that's going to get you at the exact moment that you need it, right? You need it right now and you need it quick. So it's very difficult to get an advertising strategy that will get in front of that person at that time. Or think about like a magazine ad, right? Getting in front of the people at the exact time that they need it is a real challenge. Now, you're at the dentist. Let's go back. You're at the dentist and the dentist says you need an oral surgeon to get a root canal. What's going to happen? You're going to say, hey, who do you recommend, right? That's the number one way. I guarantee you, oral surgeons, if there's any out there, I want you to direct message me so I can make sure my hypothesis is correct. But I guarantee you 99% of the business that goes to someone like an oral surgeon comes from referrals. So if an oral surgeon came to me as their marketing mentor and said, what should I do to grow my business? I would say, first, one, let's figure out the strategy. How do people find you, right? Where is the most obvious place for us to spend our marketing time and money to grow your business. And so what we would identify then is 99% of your business comes from referrals. Okay, great. Let's spend your marketing time and budget on, getting really strong relationships with dentists. I wouldn't do social media. I would probably do Google, right? Some search engine optimization to make sure that the clients can find you and find your address and all of that. But I probably wouldn't do social media. I wouldn't do advertising. I wouldn't do social ads. I wouldn't do print ads. I wouldn't do billboards. I wouldn't do any of those things. What I would do is take that time and that money sucking up to dentists, right? I would send them Tiff's treats, right? Every single month, I would sponsor I don't know, American Dentist Association luncheon in Dallas, right? Those are the things that I would do with my budget. That's where a marketing mentor can really help you, because often what will happen is a brand new oral surgeon will come and they'll say, well, I have to do social media and I have to do social ads. And it makes absolutely no sense for their business. Maybe down the road, sure. But is there a more targeted way? And that's where a mentor comes in and really helps you say, where does it make the most sense for you to spend your time and your money? And it might be an agency, right? Like, I'm not saying it won't be, but let's not go to the agency first. Build that plan ahead of time. And I promise you, it will save you a lot of time and money. I have clients who come to me and they say, I put together their plan and they're like, oh, but I don't have to spend a ton of money. I'm like, no, let's do this first, right? I think there's more, I say this like juice to come out of this lemon, right? Let's build up, in the case of the oral surgeon, right? Let's build up your referral network to the point where you really feel like every dentist in Dallas knows you, right? Once we've done that, then we can think about other things. But let's start here, right? Let's not spend any money, or if we spend money, let's do it in a very strategic way. And I promise you, all my clients end up saving a lot of money and end up getting a huge result as a result. Okay, so trying to find the right, anyway, whatever. All right. One of the cons of having a marketing mentor is you're not able to just say, hey, you take it, right? Like, somebody else take it. I don't want to think about marketing. I'm done, right? It does require some involvement from the entrepreneur. And I want to tell you that if you are creating a personal brand, right, where you are the face of the company, you are going to have to be involved in your marketing no matter what, right? I am the face of my brand. And that means that I have to be on camera doing things like this. I'm in the photographs. I'm doing the reels. Now, I do have some help, but if you're developing a personal brand, often you're the one who needs to do a lot of it anyway. And you can get someone like a virtual assistant, at a much lower cost, who's helping you to sort of execute on things. Or you get a marketing mentor like me, who can help you do some of that content co-creation. So one of the things you see behind me is this is my content co-creation studio. I have my clients come here, especially most of my clients are the face of their brand. They'll come here, we'll do reels together, we'll make promotional videos together. Sometimes we'll write content. Sometimes we'll actually hire a copywriter to do that. So we will use agencies, to help every now and then. We will do photos that you can use for your social media. So finding a mentor who can kind of do both is really the best of both worlds. The next alternative is to kind of do this combo approach. So I do find this frequently with my clients. They'll hire me as their marketing mentor, and they'll, their business growth guide, and they'll say, okay, we'll put together their plan and we'll say, okay, you know what? You need to be doing some advertising, right? It really does make sense for you to be doing lots of social ads. I have a new client who does a clothing line. For her, it's going to make a lot of sense to do Instagram ads in particular. And so that is a place where that makes sense. Now, we're going to need to hire an agency very likely to help us to execute on that, right? It's a lot of very specialized skill, and we want to make sure that we outsource that. So in that case, we will very likely, and we haven't gotten there yet, so that's why I say very likely, but we will probably have a combination approach where we will have an agency who is helping us with the ads, right? And underneath my direction as part of the overall strategy that we've put together, but they'll continue to work with me on, what's the messaging, what are the other places we should be, right? Because it's often very financially challenging to hire a social media agency and an ad agency and other things. So we'll often pick, okay, we're going to outsource the ads, but we're going to continue to do the social, right, as part of the content co-creation. Entrepreneurs obviously leading that, but I can help them to create some of that content. So for some people, this combo approach makes a lot of sense. And again, we start with the strategy. We start with what's the way to grow your business at the least possible cost, both in time and in money. Then if we need to hire agencies, we can do that. And that's one of the reasons why, for me, I call myself the DD Marketing Collective, because I have a whole collective of vetted partners underneath me who can do all of the things that we need to have done. Okay, so I wanted to show you, I have a slide that disappeared. I wanted to tell you guys, I created a really cool, it's like a 5-page PDF, and it walks you through the pros and the cons on each side, particularly if you're looking to hire a social media manager, because that seems to be the one place where most entrepreneurs and early stage businesses say, hey, this is something I really need help with, right? And so I have this, here's the pros and cons. I have a little bit about the combo approach. And then I actually have interview guides. So if you decide that you want to get a business growth consultant like me, or if you decide you want a social media manager, I have interview guides that you can use for that. So if you're interested in that, send me a note. My email is sherry@dd.marketing, and I will put that up on the screen here in just a second. So let me make sure you can see it. Okay. So again, if you are looking for a mentor, I would love to work with you. Again, I work with all different types of companies, generally early stage, or been around for a year or so, but aren't sure if they're ready or want to hire an agency or if it's the right thing for them. And so they're like, I have so many different options of things that I want to offer to the marketplace and ways to market my business, but I want to really understand what the best way is to do that. I am 100% your girl for that. So head over to my website. I offer free consultations. My web address is right here. It's dd.marketing, or you can email me at sherry@ddmarketing. And if you're interested in that social media or marketing mentor guide, I would be happy to send that to you. Again, email me at sherry@dd.marketing, or you can reach out to me on direct message on any of the platforms. And it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. I do these free trainings every single Thursday. So follow me to get an invite. Or if you want to watch old ones, you can head over to my YouTube channel. Just search for DD Marketing Collective or by my name, Sherry Sutton, and you will find us there. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas on future trainings, please put them in the comments and I will add those to the list. Hope you guys have a great day. Mwah. Bye.